If you don't work on yourself daily, life will work against you. That's the truth most people avoid. They wait for motivation, for the perfect time, for someone else to push them. But the people who succeed, they don't wait. They build. Every single day. The title of this video isn't just a list, it's a challenge. 10 things you must work on every day. These are not random tips. These are habits that shape your direction, sharpen your discipline, and upgrade your daily mindset. If you're tired of feeling behind, overwhelmed, or stuck in the same cycle, it's time to take your power back. Ask yourself, are you building your habits or letting your habits control you? Are you letting distractions lead, or are you taking full responsibility for your growth? This video will break down 10 areas that, when practiced daily, will change how you think, how you live, and how far you go. Watch closely, listen fully, then act. Your future depends on what you do today. Chapter 1. Get out of bed when your alarm first rings. You know, one of the most powerful changes a person can make in life is to stop negotiating with the alarm clock. That moment when the alarm goes off and you're still tired, still not feeling it, still tempted to roll over, that's the moment that shapes your discipline. That's the moment that builds your future. When the alarm rings, it's not just noise, it's a test of your willpower, a test of your mindset, a test of your commitment to your goals. If you delay getting out of bed, if you keep hitting snooze, you're teaching your body and your mind that comfort matters more than purpose. And every time you do that, it adds up. The days don't change you. Your decisions in those small moments do. You've got to treat the alarm clock like your first challenge of the day and win it. No compromise. No excuses. Because if you can win that first battle, you've got the edge. You've already made one disciplined decision before the world even sees your face. And that decision matters more than you think. Why? Because how you start your day often decides how you carry yourself through it. Discipline doesn't start with huge changes. It starts with getting out of bed when you said you would. It starts with keeping promises you make to yourself. You told yourself you'd get up at 6, then get up. No debate, no delay, just get up. That's how you train yourself to be someone who follows through. Most people don't fail because they're not talented. They don't fall behind because they don't have potential. They fail because they keep negotiating with laziness. They let feelings take control of their actions. And when you let how you feel decide what you do, you'll lose momentum. You'll lose the day before it even starts. You've got to decide that your word means something. If you said you'd get up early, then that's what you do. You don't hit snooze. Not even once. Because the person who keeps hitting snooze is slowly telling himself that effort can wait, that commitment is flexible, that dreams are optional. But dreams don't wait. Life doesn't pause. Time doesn't care. It moves forward, with or without you. That's why it's critical that you take full control of your mornings. Getting out of bed when your alarm rings is not just about waking up. It's about showing up. Showing up for yourself. Showing up for your responsibilities. Showing up for your future. Because if you can't do that, then how can you expect to lead a disciplined life? I always say, success is a few simple disciplines repeated every day, and failure? A few errors in judgment repeated every day. Hitting snooze might not seem like a big deal, but if you do it every day, it becomes a habit, and that habit shapes your identity. You become someone who gives in. You become someone who avoids challenge. You become someone who chooses the pillow over progress. Now, it's not about being perfect. It's about taking control of your habits. It's about setting a standard for yourself and living by it. The alarm rings. That's your signal to rise. Not just physically, but mentally. emotionally, spiritually. You rise because you said you would, and you follow through because your goals matter. And I'll tell you something. There's a unique kind of confidence that comes from doing what you said you would do, even if it's just getting up when the alarm rings. You start the day feeling strong, you feel capable, you feel in charge, and that's not a small feeling. That feeling builds into something powerful over time. Now, I know there are days when you're tired. You didn't sleep well, your body wants to stay under the blanket, but remember this. Your feelings don't decide your direction. Your values do. Your discipline does. If you only act when you feel like it, you'll never become who you want to be. So instead of waiting to feel ready, train yourself to act with commitment. Think about it. If you can train yourself to get up with hesitation, you're already developing mental toughness. And that mental toughness will spill into everything else. You'll show up better at work. You'll be more focused in your conversations. You'll take more pride in your effort. And it all begins with one simple act: getting up when the alarm rings. You don't need motivation for that. You need a decision, a clear one, a personal one, a decision that says, I'm no longer putting my future on hold for 5 more minutes of comfort. That decision will take you further than any speech or book ever could, because once you've made that decision and you back it up with action, your whole life starts to change. You'll notice that you start respecting yourself more, because discipline builds self-respect. And when you do what you said you'd do, you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I showed up today. That alone builds pride. That alone gives you energy. And over time, that energy builds a new version of you. A version that doesn't fold under pressure. A version that doesn't flinch when things get hard. A version that doesn't run from the alarm clock. Because now you've trained yourself to rise when it rings. So don't treat the morning like a burden. Treat it like your first win. No matter what happened yesterday, no matter how you slept, no matter what mood you're in, when the alarm rings, rise. Don't scroll your phone. Don't make excuses. Don't convince yourself you need more time. Just rise and own the day. Then you don't need fancy systems. You don't need perfect routines. You just need a strong reason to get up. And here it is. Because you said you would. Because your life matters. Because your future deserves a stronger version of you. Because you're not here to stay the same. You're here to grow. So tomorrow morning, when that alarm goes off, don't think, don't hesitate. Just move. Put your feet on the floor. Stand up. Walk forward. That's how you win the first battle of the day. And if you can win that one, you're ready for the next, and then the next. It all starts with that one choice. So make it strong, make it firm, and make it daily. Because the future you want is built by the choices you make, starting with the moment you decide to rise. Chapter 2. Pick one goal and work hard without distractions. One of the biggest problems today is that people are trying to chase too many things at once. They start one project, then jump to another. They set a goal in the morning, change their mind by evening, and by the end of the week they're overwhelmed and frustrated. That's not how progress is made. That's how people stay stuck. You can't move forward with clarity if your attention is scattered. You can't reach a destination if you're walking in 10 different directions. At some point, you have to decide what matters most right now. One goal, one mission, one clear target. Working hard isn't enough if you're working in 20 directions. Effort needs to be focused. If it isn't, you'll just burn energy, not build results. So the first thing you must do is choose one goal that means something to you. Not 10, not 5, just one. Something real, something that matters to you personally, something that will move your life forward if you give it your full attention. Because the truth is, nothing important gets done when your mind is divided. You have to learn to block everything else out. Not forever, just for now. You don't need to quit every interest or drop every opportunity. You just need to stop chasing everything at once. The mind works best when it's clear. And clarity only comes when you eliminate noise. When you wake up and you know exactly what you're working toward, your actions become sharper, your decisions become stronger. You don't waste energy wondering what to do next. You already know. That kind of focus builds momentum, and momentum is what changes your life. Distractions are the enemy of growth. Every time you check your phone, scroll without reason, reply to messages that could wait, or get pulled into meaningless conversations, you're giving your time away. And once it's gone, you can't get it back. So if you're serious about building something valuable, whether it's your body, your mind, your income, or your business, you've got to protect your focus like it's your future, because it is. People say they don't have time, but that's rarely the truth. The real issue is attention. It's not how many hours you have in a day, it's what you do with those hours. Most people are busy but not effective. They're active but not productive. They move a lot but get nowhere, and that's because they're trying to do too much or letting too much in. You have to narrow your world to what matters most. Start by asking yourself one serious question. What is the one goal that would make the biggest difference in my life right now? Not what's easy, not what others are doing, not what's trending. What's real for you? What would make you proud if you accomplished it? What would lift your life to another level? That's your target, and once you know what it is, you commit. Not halfway, not when you feel like it, but daily. Fully. Relentlessly. You build your life by doing the right things again and again. And the right thing today is working hard on your main goal. That means creating space for it. That means cutting off distractions. That means saying no more often. No to the things that pull your focus. No to people who don't respect your time. No to habits that waste your energy. Because every yes is a trade, every distraction is a delay, and every delay pushes your results further away. It's not easy to stay focused in a noisy world, that's the truth. Everything is designed to steal your attention. Ads, notifications, updates, opinions, and constant entertainment. But if you want to win, you've got to rise above the noise. You've got to unplug from everything that isn't helping you grow. You've got to build your own mental space, where only your goal matters. That might mean waking up earlier. That might mean turning your phone off for a few hours. That might mean working in silence. Whatever it takes, you do it. Because the goal matters more than the distraction. The reward matters more than the comfort. And your future matters more than temporary pleasure. The work might be hard, but so is being stuck. So is regret. So is watching other people move ahead while you stay behind. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about choosing what matters most and following through. Every single day, even when you're tired, even when it's boring, even when no one is watching. You don't need motivation to stay focused. You need commitment. A promise to yourself that says, I'm not quitting today. I'm not switching paths. I'm not letting noise take my time. I'm showing up for this goal. There's something powerful about working on one thing with full attention. You start to feel progress. You start to see change. You start to trust yourself more. Because you're no longer distracted. You're no longer scattered. You're locked in. You're moving with direction. And that's where real confidence comes from, knowing you're doing the right thing every day, even when it's tough. Most people underestimate what they can do with consistent focus. They try something for a week and expect magic. That's not how life works. Real results take time, growth is slow, success builds in silence, but it comes to those who don't give up, who don't keep switching goals, who don't keep changing direction. You have to give something your full effort before it gives you full reward. So pick your goal and block everything else out. If you're working, then work. If you're building something, then build it. Don't check your messages, don't look for distractions, don't escape into things that don't serve you. Give yourself fully to the process. Even when it's slow, even when it feels like nothing's happening, keep going. Every step counts. Every small action matters, and it all adds up if you stay focused. The world will try to pull your attention in 1,000 directions, but if you give in to all of them, you lose the power of your energy. Keep your mind on your mission. Keep your hands busy with work that moves you forward. Keep your time protected like it's gold, because it is. You won't need to chase success if you stay focused. Success finds people who refuse to get distracted. Success shows up for the person who shows up every day. So don't wait for the right time. Don't wait to feel ready. Pick your goal. Commit to it. Work on it like it's the only thing that matters, because for now, it is. And when you get tired, don't quit. Just pause. Rest, then get back to it. You don't need to be fast, you just need to be consistent. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to stay with it. And as the days pass, your effort compounds, your mindset shifts, your life starts to change. Not because of luck, not because someone gave you a secret, but because you picked one goal and you worked on it without distractions. Every single day. Chapter 3. Fix your posture and walk like you mean it. How you carry yourself says a lot about what's going on inside you. Before you say a single word, people are already making judgments about you based on how you stand, how you sit, how you walk. That's why your posture matters more than you think. It's not just about your back or your shoulders, it's about presence. It's about how you present yourself to the world, and more importantly, how you present yourself to yourself. You can't lead your life from a slouched position. You can't feel strong when your body is curled inward. You can't convince your mind to feel confident if your body is collapsing in on itself. That's the connection most people don't pay attention to. The mind and body are always speaking to each other. If your posture is weak, your emotions follow. If your shoulders are dropped, your thoughts lose strength. If your steps are small and hesitant, your actions will be too. You've got to start standing like someone who means business, like someone who's ready to face the day with direction, your chest up, shoulders back, head level, feet planted. Not because you want to impress anyone, but because you want to remind yourself that you are alive, alert, and in control. This is not about pretending to be something you're not. It's about showing up fully in your own skin and taking ownership of your energy. Every time you walk into a room, you send a message, even if you don't say a word. And that message starts with how you move. If you shuffle your feet, avoid eye contact, slouch into your chair, you're telling the world and yourself that you don't believe you matter, that you're not ready to take charge. And when you give off that energy day after day, it starts to shape your beliefs. But you can reverse that. You can shift your energy without saying anything. You can walk differently. You can sit with intention. You can hold your body with purpose. And that starts to build something powerful inside you. Because the body teaches the mind. When you fix your posture, you're not just adjusting your frame, you're changing the way your brain sees itself. You're saying, I'm here, I'm capable, I'm ready. Most people don't realize how much their physical habits affect their mental patterns. They think confidence is only in the mind, but it's not. It lives in your spine, in your stride, in the way you hold your hands. You can feel tired and still walk with strength. You can feel uncertain and still stand tall. And by doing that, you start to shift your emotional state, not with a speech, not with affirmations, but with action. This is not about arrogance. It's not about walking around like you're better than everyone. It's about owning your space without apology. It's about carrying yourself like your life has value, because it does. You matter. Your goals matter. Your time matters. And when you walk like you mean it, you're reinforcing that truth every step you take. You don't need expensive clothes to carry yourself with confidence. You don't need to wait until you've achieved something big. You can start right now, where you are, with what you have. Just adjust the way you hold your body. Check in with yourself during the day. Are you collapsing into your chair? Are you slumping over your phone? Are you letting gravity pull you down? Or are you meeting it with strength? These little shifts make a big difference, not just in how others see you, but in how you feel about yourself. There's something powerful that happens when you walk with purpose. Your breathing improves, your thoughts become clearer, you feel more grounded, more awake, more focused. You stop blending into the background of your own life. It's easy to let posture slip, especially when you're tired, when you're stressed, when the day feels long. But that's exactly when it matters most, because in those moments you need to signal to yourself that you are not giving in, that you still choose strength, that you still choose effort, that you still choose to face forward and move ahead. And yes, it takes practice. You'll catch yourself slipping back into old habits, but the more you correct it, the more natural it becomes. It's just like training any other muscle. You remind yourself to stand tall. You check your body language when you walk into a meeting. You pay attention to how you sit when you're working. You build awareness, and that awareness builds identity. Eventually, you won't need to think about it. You'll just carry yourself that way. Because now it's who you are, a person who moves with focus, a person who lives with intention, a person who doesn't shrink when life gets hard. You don't have to say anything to prove it. Your body will speak for you. And when you do speak, your words will carry more weight. Because people listen differently to someone who stands tall. You come across as clear, not scattered, calm, not rushed, direct, not doubtful. That's the power of presence. And presence begins with posture. So if you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, uncertain, don't wait for everything to fall into place. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Just start with your body. Adjust your shoulders. Lift your head. Move your feet like you know where they're going. Even if the path isn't clear yet, move like it is. Because your body is not just a reflection of how you feel, it's also a tool for changing how you feel. You can sit in weakness or you can rise into strength. That choice happens every hour. You can shrink or you can stretch. You can fold or you can hold your ground. That's your decision. And every time you choose strength, your inner state rises to match it. It's a small shift, but it creates a big ripple. People notice. You start to notice. You carry yourself differently, and opportunities show up differently. Not because the world changed, but because you did. So from now on, remind yourself. Your body is the first message you send to the world each day. Make it count. Move with purpose. Walk like you mean it. Sit like your time matters. Stand like your presence matters. Because it does. You're not just here to get through life. You're here to lead it. And that starts the moment you decide to carry yourself like it matters. Chapter 4. Speak clearly. and stop mumbling through your thoughts. How you speak tells the world how much you believe in what you're saying. Every time you open your mouth, you're not just delivering words, you're delivering a message about your confidence, your clarity, and your presence. That's why speaking clearly is so important. It's not about sounding perfect, it's about being understood. It's about making sure your words match your thoughts, and your voice carries your intention. Too many people rush through their words, slur their sentences, or speak so quietly that no one can hear them. Then they wonder why people don't take them seriously. It's not that their ideas aren't good, it's that their delivery weakens the message. When you mumble through your thoughts, you confuse people, and when people are confused, they stop listening. If you want people to listen to you, speak in a way that's easy to follow. Speak with purpose. Speak with control. Speak like your words matter, because they do. It doesn't mean being loud. It doesn't mean dominating the room. It just means owning your voice, not rushing, not hiding, not second-guessing every sentence before it leaves your mouth. When your words are clear, people feel it, they hear it, they trust it. That's how you influence without force. That's how you earn respect without trying to impress. But you can't do that if you're constantly cutting your own words short or if you sound unsure of what you're saying. Clarity builds confidence, both in you and in the person listening. It starts with slowing down. Most people speak too fast because they're nervous or because they're trying to get it over with. But when you slow down, you give your mind time to think. You give your listener time to absorb what you're saying. And you give yourself the chance to breathe and stay grounded. When your voice is calm, people lean in. They don't need to be convinced. They just need to be clear on what you mean. Don't bury your ideas in broken sentences. Don't mask your meaning with vague language. If you've got something to say, then say it in a way that lands. Be direct, be thoughtful, be simple. You don't need fancy words to sound smart. You just need real words that hit home. That kind of clarity cuts through noise. It stands out. It makes people stop and think. And this isn't just about public speaking or giving presentation. This is about daily conversations. It's about how you express yourself when you talk to your family, your co-workers, your friends, or strangers. Every conversation is a reflection of your presence. Are you someone who speaks with intention, or someone who hides behind half-spoken thoughts? When you mumble or speak unclearly, people assume you're unsure. They assume you don't believe in what you're saying. They assume you're not prepared. That may not be true, but that's the message your voice sends. And if you do it often enough, you start to believe it too. That's why fixing the way you speak isn't just about communication, it's about identity. You're telling yourself, my words matter, my thoughts are worth saying, I deserve to be heard. It takes effort to change. If you've been speaking without clarity for years, you've built a habit. But habits can be broken. The first step is paying attention. Start listening to how you speak. Do you trail off at the end of sentences? Do you avoid eye contact while talking? Do you fill your speech with unnecessary words that weaken your point? Notice it, name it, then change it. You've got to start valuing your voice, and that starts by using it with care, not fear, not doubt. Care. Speak like your voice is a tool, because it is. It can open doors, it can build trust, it can set the tone in a room, but only if it's clear. If your thoughts feel jumbled when you speak, take a breath before you start. Pause. Then say what you mean in a steady tone. Keep it simple, one point at a time. That's how you develop structure in your speech. It's not about speaking more, it's about speaking better. And better starts with clarity. The way you talk is something you take with you everywhere. You take it into job interviews, tough conversations, first impressions, high-stakes decisions. If you can't express yourself clearly, you'll keep losing opportunities you were actually ready for. Not because you weren't good enough, but because your voice didn't show it. Think about the people you admire, the ones who seem composed, direct, sharp. They don't rush their words, they don't mumble. They speak from the center. You can do the same, but you have to want it enough to train yourself. You have to be willing to pause, slow down, and form your words with intention. And don't underestimate the emotional impact of clear speech. When you speak clearly, people feel safe around you. They don't feel like they're guessing what you mean. They don't feel like they're chasing your words. They trust what they hear, and in return, you feel heard. That kind of clarity builds connection, and connection builds influence. This is not about being someone you're not. It's about bringing out the best version of who you already are. The version that isn't afraid to be understood. The version that stands behind their words. The version that speaks with honesty and strength. And one more thing, stop apologizing for speaking. Don't lower your volume halfway through a sentence because you think it's not important. Don't add "I don't know" at the end of every thought. Don't downplay your ideas before you even give them a chance. Speak like someone who's allowed to speak. Speak like someone who deserves space in the room. Because you do. You have thoughts worth sharing. You have a voice that's needed, but only if you use it with care, with purpose, and with strength. So stop mumbling, stop rushing, stop hiding behind unclear words. Speak clearly, speak directly, speak like your words carry weight, because they do, every time, everywhere, always.
Chapter 5. Say no fast and protect your personal time. If you want to take control of your life, you have to learn how to say no. Not tomorrow, not later. Say it fast. Say it clearly. Say it without guilt, because every time you delay saying no, you're giving someone else permission to manage your time. And once your time gets filled with the needs and plans of others, your life starts moving in a direction that doesn't belong to you. Most people don't struggle because they lack talent or ambition. They struggle because they're overwhelmed. Too many tasks, too many requests, too many distractions disguised as opportunities. And at the root of that overload is a fear of saying no. They don't want to offend anyone. They don't want to seem difficult. So they say yes when they should have stood their ground. They agree when they should have protected their schedule. And they keep making room for things that don't matter, while their own goals sit untouched. You have to realize something important. Your time is your responsibility. Nobody else will guard it for you. Nobody will come in and say, "Hey, you've done enough. Take the rest of the day to work on your dreams." That's your job. You have to be the one who blocks off your calendar. You have to be the one who decides what gets your energy and what doesn't. You can't be afraid to draw the line. Saying no isn't about being rude. It's about being honest. It's about knowing your limits. It's about valuing your time the same way you value your money, maybe even more. Because time is one thing you never get back. Once it's spent, it's gone. So every yes should be worth it. Every commitment should be chosen, not forced. It's not just about big events or major requests. It's about the small things, the quick favors, the little interruptions, the moments where someone asks for just a minute and it turns into 20. If you say yes to all of it, your day disappears. And worse, your focus disappears with it. That's when you end up busy, but not fulfilled. Active, but not progressing. You need to understand that every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. You're trading your energy, your attention, your hours. That's why the word no is so powerful. It gives you your day back. It gives you control over your priorities. It gives you the space you need to think, to build, to recover, and to grow. And yes, at first, it might feel uncomfortable. People might be surprised. They might ask why. They might push back. But you don't owe anyone an explanation. If it doesn't serve your purpose, if it takes you away from what matters, you don't need to justify your no. You just need to say it with respect and move forward. The people who truly value you will understand. The ones who don't were never looking out for you to begin with. It's also important to protect your time from yourself. Sometimes the biggest distractions come from within. You waste time on things that don't move you forward. You say yes to habits that drain you. You keep giving in to what feels urgent, instead of what's truly important. That's where discipline comes in. You have to train yourself to stop giving time to the things that don't build the life you want. You don't need to be available to everyone, at every moment. You don't have to answer every message the second it comes in. You don't have to say yes to every invitation. You are allowed to choose yourself. You are allowed to protect your peace. You are allowed to keep your time sacred. And the people who respect your boundaries will be the ones you want in your life anyway. Some people think saying yes makes them kind or generous. But kindness without boundaries turns into exhaustion. Generosity without clarity turns into resentment. You can still care about people. You can still support others. But you don't have to do it at the cost of your own goals. You don't have to sacrifice your growth just to make someone else comfortable. And remember, the more you practice saying no, the easier it gets. You start to feel stronger. You start to trust your decisions more. You stop second-guessing yourself. You stop carrying guilt for protecting your life. And in that space, something beautiful happens. You gain time. Time to think clearly. Time to do meaningful work. Time to rest. Time to live your life on your own terms. It's not about being unavailable. It's about being available for the right things. It's about showing up fully where it matters most. And you can only do that when your time is protected, when your focus isn't scattered, when your energy isn't drained by things that don't align with who you are becoming. So from this point forward, stop hesitating. Stop apologizing for taking care of your time. Start saying no without overthinking it. Start valuing your hours like they have real weight, because they do. Start living like your time is the most precious thing you own, because it is. You weren't put here to please everyone. You weren't given time so it could be handed away carelessly. You were given time to use it wisely, to shape your future, to build your vision, to create something that matters. And that means you can't keep giving it to everything and everyone that asks for it. Choose what matters. Commit to it and protect it fiercely. Say no fast. Walk away from the noise. Guard your personal time like it's your lifeline, because it is. Chapter 6. Look people in the eyes and stay confident. Confidence doesn't always come from words. Often it's communicated without speaking. It's in the way you stand, the way you move, and especially the way you look someone in the eyes. Eye contact isn't about staring. It's not about showing dominance. It's about connection. It's about presence. It's about saying without saying anything, I'm here, I'm not afraid, and I believe in what I bring. When you avoid eye contact, even if you don't mean to, it sends a message. It tells the other person that you might be unsure, uncomfortable, or uncertain about yourself. And over time, if you make that your habit, It starts shaping the way you see yourself. You begin to shrink inside. You begin to act like you don't belong, like you don't have a place at the table, like your words don't carry value. But when you hold someone's gaze with calmness and confidence, it changes the tone of everything. You don't even have to raise your voice. You just have to stay present. Confidence is not about being loud. It's not about talking more than everyone else. It's not about showing off. Real confidence is quiet. It's steady. It's clear. And it shows up in the eyes before it ever reaches the mouth. If your eyes shift around when someone's talking to you, or if you constantly look away when you're speaking, the message being sent is that you're not grounded, that you don't believe in what you're saying. And even if that's not how you feel deep down, the impression stays. You have to train yourself to be present in the moment, to be still, to face people, even in uncomfortable situations, and look directly at them, not in an aggressive way, not in a forced way, but in a clear and human way. Because when you do that, you build trust, you build respect, you build influence. You don't need to try hard. You just need to show up fully. In everyday situations, interviews, meetings, conversations, or even short interactions, the person who can hold eye contact without tension usually gains more attention and respect. Not because they said anything magical, but because their presence felt solid. And people respond to that. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room if you carry yourself like someone who belongs there. And you do belong there. That's the mindset you have to carry with you. You are not beneath anyone. You don't need to act small. You don't need to fade into the background. If you're in the room, be in the room, fully. Looking people in the eyes reminds your body and your mind that you are not hiding. You are facing life as it is, directly, steadily, and with strength. A lot of people develop the habit of looking down or looking away because of fear. Fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of not being enough. But you have to remind yourself, no one is above you. Everyone is human. No one is perfect. And the moment you stop lowering your eyes out of habit is the moment you begin to claim your place with confidence. Of course, this doesn't happen overnight, especially if you've spent years avoiding eye contact. But like any skill, it gets better with practice. Start with the small moments. When someone speaks to you, meet their eyes for a few seconds. When you respond, hold your gaze just long enough to show you're engaged. Don't force it. Let it feel natural. Let it be calm. That's the power of presence. Calm, steady, intentional. Confidence grows with every action that backs it up. When you carry yourself with presence, when your eyes stay steady, your words start to land stronger. Your body language becomes more aligned with your thoughts. You don't have to prove yourself. You just need to be yourself, without shrinking. And here's the truth. Confidence isn't a personality trait. It's a choice. A choice you make every time you walk into a room, every time you meet someone new, every time you share your thoughts. You decide whether to hide or to show up. You decide whether to keep avoiding eye contact or to start meeting people with presence. Start training yourself in your daily routine. When you walk past someone, nod and look them in the eye. When you're at the store, look the cashier in the eyes. When you say thank you. When someone speaks to you, stop whatever you're doing. Turn your full attention to them and meet their eyes. Those small moments build something deep inside you, a sense of inner strength that stays even when life gets challenging. People can feel when you're present. They can tell when you're not hiding, and when they feel that from you they trust you more. You come across as someone who takes themselves seriously, someone who's grounded, someone who's not afraid to be seen. And when you get used to being seen, you stop playing small. You start taking up space in your own life. Confidence is built one choice at a time, one eye contact at a time, one present moment at a time. And the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. It stops feeling like effort. It starts becoming who you are. Someone who doesn't avoid life, but faces it with strength. Looking people in the eyes is one of the simplest ways to show respect to yourself and to them. It says, "I see you, I'm here, I'm not pretending." You don't need permission to do this. You don't need to wait until you feel more successful or more experienced. You just start now. You start where you are, and you build from there. If you've been used to hiding, the first few times will feel uncomfortable. That's normal. Growth always comes with a little discomfort, but don't let that stop you. Keep showing up, keep practicing, keep pushing through. Because the more you do it, the more it becomes a part of how you move through the world. There's nothing more powerful than a calm, confident presence. You don't need to raise your voice to make an impact. You just need to be clear, to be still, to be focused, and to be someone who doesn't flinch when the world looks back. So the next time you're in a conversation, stop overthinking what to say. Start paying attention to how you're showing up. Let your body be steady. Let your eyes stay focused. Let your energy stay grounded. That's what real confidence looks like. Quiet, steady, and clear. And it starts the moment you stop looking away. Chapter 7. Put your phone down and get real work done. You can't move your life forward while staring at a screen all day. The truth is, your phone might be the most distracting thing in your life right now. Not because it's evil, not because it's broken, but because it pulls your mind away from what really matters. Every time you pick it up out of habit, you're avoiding something that needs your focus. Every time you scroll without thinking, you're pushing your real work further away. The kind of work that builds your future. The kind of work that demands your full presence. And it never gets done in the background of notifications. There's a difference between being busy and being productive. Checking messages, watching short videos, reading updates. It feels like something's happening, but nothing is actually moving forward. You're just reacting to what the world is throwing at you. You're letting other people's voices shape your day. That's not how focused people operate. That's not how anything great gets built. If you want to create progress in your life, you have to create space for deep focus. And that starts by putting your phone down, not later, not eventually, but now. You need to stop waiting for the perfect moment to do your work. There is no perfect moment. There's only now, this moment. And this moment is either being used to create something meaningful or being wasted on empty stimulation. Your phone isn't the enemy, but if you're not in charge of how you use it, it becomes a tool that works against you. It starts stealing your attention, your energy, and your time. 3 things you need if you're going to build anything that lasts. Real work doesn't give you quick feedback. It doesn't hit you with instant likes, replies, or comments. It's silent, it's slow, it's uncomfortable. And that's why so many people avoid it. They trade long-term results for short-term entertainment. They know they've got things to do, goals to work on, ideas to finish, but they keep running back to the phone. Not because it's urgent, but because it's easier. You've got to choose effort over comfort, discipline over distraction, progress over pleasure. Because if you don't, someone else will decide how your day goes. Every app is designed to keep you inside it. Every notification is a hook. And if you don't build the habit of walking away from it, you'll keep spending your best hours looking at other people's lives instead of improving your own. The work that changes your life doesn't happen in between notifications. It happens when you're locked in, when your mind is fully on what matters, when your hands are moving with purpose. That means no background noise, no split attention, just one task, one goal, one stretch of focus. That's where momentum starts. And momentum is how you build real progress. You don't need more time. You need to protect the time you already have. How many minutes today have already been spent scrolling without meaning? How many hours last week were lost to videos you didn't need to watch? You might not notice it in the moment, but it adds up. Bit by bit, your focus leaks away. And suddenly the day is over, and the work still isn't done. If something matters to you, you give it your full attention. You make room for it. You push other things out of the way. You don't just try to fit it in between distractions. You treat it like it's important. Because it is. That's what separates those who achieve from those who only dream. One group locks in. The other group keeps checking their phone. You don't need to throw your phone away. You just need to take control of when and how you use it. Set boundaries with it. Turn it off when you're working. Put it in another room if you have to. Silence the noise. Take breaks from the scroll. Every time you do that, you're reminding yourself that your life is more important than your feed. That your mission is more urgent than your timeline. That your goals deserve more attention than someone else's updates. And it won't be easy at first. Your mind will want to reach for it. You'll feel that itch to check what's new. That's how habits work. But the more you say no to the pull, the stronger you get. The more time you spend focused, the easier it becomes. Soon the distractions feel less important. Because you're seeing results. You're getting things done. You're moving forward. And that progress starts to fuel you more than any screen ever could. When you start protecting your attention, you start protecting your potential. The greatest skill you can build today is the ability to focus, to sit down, stay with something, and do the hard work without needing to be entertained. That's what sets people apart now. Not just talent, not just intelligence, but the ability to control their attention and direct it towards something real. You don't need permission to do this. You don't need a perfect system. You just need to start. Close the tabs, turn off the apps, step into your real work. That project you've been putting off, that plan you've been thinking about, that task you know needs to get done. Give it everything. No half effort, no half focus, full attention, real work, real time. And here's what will happen. You'll feel resistance. Your mind will want to wander. Your hand will want to reach for the phone. But push through. Breathe. Keep going. And soon something changes. You enter the zone. You get into a rhythm. You stop thinking about checking anything. You're just in it. That's where results are built. That's where real growth begins. Don't waste another day being busy doing nothing. Don't keep filling your time with things that don't move you forward. The work that matters is waiting. And it's not on your phone. It's on your desk, in your journal, on your calendar, in your hands. Get to it. Put the phone down and start showing up for your own life. Because while you're scrolling through what others are doing, you're not doing your own. While you're watching their wins, you're delaying your own. Stop handing your time to a screen. Reclaim it. Use it. Build something with it. You have what it takes. But you have to choose focus. You have to be stronger than the noise. And it starts right now. Put the phone down. Get real work done. Watch how your life changes. Not someday, but today. Chapter 8. Breathe deeply and calm yourself before reacting fast. Most people react too fast. They hear something they don't like, and they speak before thinking. They feel a wave of emotion, and they act on it without pause. Then later, they wish they'd handled it differently. That's what happens when you move too quickly. That's what happens when you don't stop to breathe, to process, to slow yourself down before letting words or actions leave your body. One of the most powerful things you can train yourself to do is pause, not to avoid the problem, but to face it with control instead of chaos. Taking a deep breath doesn't solve the problem, but it puts you in a stronger position to deal with it. It clears your head. It slows your heartbeat. It brings you back into your body. And from there you can respond with intention. That's the difference between someone who reacts and someone who responds. A reaction is instant and emotional. A response is deliberate and calm. One damages relationships. The other builds trust. One creates regret. The other shows growth. And the difference is just a few seconds. A breath, a pause, a moment of awareness. You don't need to be perfect to be composed. You just need to create space between the trigger and your choice. That space is where maturity lives. It's where self-respect grows. It's where your real strength begins. Because when you can stay calm, when everything around you is pushing for speed, you take back control. You stop being ruled by your emotions, and you start being guided by your values. There's no strength in yelling back. There's no wisdom in snapping at people just because you feel irritated. That may feel powerful in the moment, but it weakens you over time. It chips away at your peace. It ruins your presence. And the truth is, most situations that get out of hand could have been avoided with one deep breath. A few seconds to cool your system. A few seconds to check yourself before you create damage you'll later need to fix. Breathing deeply is not just for stress, it's for awareness. It puts you in charge of yourself. It brings your thoughts out of the storm and back into focus. And that focus helps you make better decisions. It helps you see the full picture. It keeps you from reacting based on just one feeling. You were not built to live in a constant state of reaction. You were built to move with clarity, and that starts by calming your body. When something upsets you, the body tenses up, your breathing shortens, your face tightens, your fists may clench. That's your system getting ready to fight or defend. But you're not in danger. You're not under threat. You're just being challenged. And there's a difference. Most of life is not an emergency. It just feels like one because your body isn't grounded. And the fastest way to ground yourself is to stop, breathe slowly, and wait for the emotion to settle. You don't need to have the last word. You don't need to win every disagreement. You don't need to fire back just because someone else lost their calm. That's not strength. That's insecurity. Real strength is walking away from a situation with your peace intact. Real maturity is not needing to react to every little thing. You don't rise by lowering yourself to the energy of the moment. You rise by staying centered. Sometimes people will test you. They'll push your buttons. They'll try to get a rise out of you. If you respond with fire, you give them what they want. But if you stay calm, if you breathe first, if you give yourself space to think, you break the cycle. You stop letting others pull you into their emotional storms. That's how you grow. That's how you lead yourself with discipline. This isn't about being passive. It's not about holding in your emotions or pretending things don't bother you. It's about handling them in a way that doesn't create more harm. It's about learning to sit with a feeling before acting on it. That's how you develop emotional intelligence. That's how you stop reacting out of habit and start responding with purpose. It's easy to lash out. It's easy to raise your voice. It's easy to interrupt. What's not easy is staying steady when your mind wants to explode. What's not easy is speaking calmly when you feel like shouting. But that's where discipline is built. In those moments when you choose control over comfort. In those moments when you do what's right, instead of what's easy. And it doesn't take hours of meditation to do this. It just takes a few seconds of awareness. You get frustrated. Pause. You feel insulted. Breathe. You want to speak too fast. Slow down. Your body will want to move, to react, to protect. But if you can just sit still for a moment, let your breath guide you, you'll make a better choice. You can't undo words once they're spoken. You can't take back actions once they're done. But you can stop them before they happen. You can pause, reset, and respond in a way that makes you proud instead of regretful. And the more you do this, the more you trust yourself. You stop fearing conflict. You stop feeling out of control, because now you know you can handle yourself no matter what's happening around you. And the truth is, most situations are not as big as they seem. You don't need to turn every disagreement into a battle. You don't need to prove your point every time. Sometimes the best thing you can do for your peace is walk away with grace. And to do that, you have to stay composed. You have to let your breath lead, not your emotions. If someone disrespects you, it's okay to be firm, but do it with a calm voice. Do it with eye contact. Do it without raising your volume. That's how you maintain your dignity. That's how you stay in control. You don't lose power by being calm. You gain it, because now your choices are your own. You're not reacting. You're responding. Build the habit of breathing before responding. Practice it daily. Don't wait until you're in a high-pressure moment. Use it when you're waiting in line. Use it when traffic gets heavy. Use it when something minor doesn't go your way. Every time you do, you're building a stronger version of yourself. One who doesn't get shaken by the little things. One who moves with discipline. You can be passionate without being aggressive. You can be clear without being sharp. You can be strong without being loud. That's the power of calm. And it starts with something as simple as one deep breath. Not a complicated system. Not a big strategy. Just the habit of stopping before reacting. Breathing instead of lashing out. Choosing composure over chaos. You'll be tested. Life will put things in your path that make you want to explode. But if you can meet those moments with stillness, if you can train your body to slow down instead of speeding up, you'll begin to lead yourself better. And when you lead yourself better, everything in your life improves. Your relationships, your decisions, your inner peace. This is your reminder. You don't need to match the speed of the world. You don't need to react to everything instantly. You don't need to fight every battle. Breathe, calm your body, center your thoughts, and respond with intention. That's how real strength is built. One breath at a time. Chapter 9. Read something useful instead of scrolling all night. What you put into your mind every night shapes how you think, how you feel, and how you act the next day. The last thing you feed your brain before going to bed matters more than most people realize. If you spend your nights scrolling through endless posts, watching random clips, chasing updates that don't impact your life, you're training your mind to crave distraction, not growth. You're letting your brain absorb noise instead of knowledge. And you carry that noise into tomorrow, unfocused, restless, and without direction. Reading something useful at night isn't just about gaining information. It's about rewiring your thinking. It's about ending your day with value, not emptiness. It gives your mind something solid to work with while you sleep. You begin to reflect, to absorb, to understand things differently. Even if it's just a few pages, that act of choosing something meaningful helps build your focus, your discipline, and your hunger to learn. Most people go to bed drained, not from hard work, but from overstimulation. They didn't read anything that helped them grow. They didn't challenge their thoughts. They just consumed whatever was easy. And the cost of that is subtle but heavy. You lose your edge. You dull your thinking. You wake up the next day feeling behind without knowing why. You have to treat your evening hours as your time for renewal, not for escape, but for nourishment. Every time you choose to scroll instead of read, you trade growth for comfort. And comfort, when repeated every night, starts becoming your normal. Then you wonder why you're stuck, uninspired, and always searching for motivation. But it's not motivation you need. It's better input. You need better ideas, better examples, better words feeding your system. A useful book, article, or piece of writing doesn't just give you knowledge. It sharpens your awareness. It teaches you to think. It helps you see your life from a higher view. It gives you language for things you've been feeling but couldn't express. It gives your thoughts structure. It reminds you that your mind needs real food, not just digital sugar. You don't have to read for hours, just enough to redirect your mind. 15 minutes with the right material is worth more than 2 hours of pointless content. The key is being intentional. Keep a book by your bed. Pick something that challenges you, something that speaks to the kind of person you want to become. Let that book become your evening companion instead of your phone. And don't make this about pressure. Don't turn reading into another chore. See it as a privilege. See it as a private, quiet moment between you and the thoughts that can change you. See it as a habit that builds long-term strength. Because reading, when done consistently, builds a sharper mind. And a sharper mind is your greatest tool in every area of life. When you scroll all night, you're not resting. You're numbing. You're avoiding stillness, but stillness is where real thinking happens. And the more you avoid it, the more you weaken your ability to focus. Reading brings you back to that stillness. It trains you to stay with one idea, one paragraph, one thought. That's how you rebuild your ability to concentrate, one page at a time. And it's not about reading for entertainment. It's about reading for insight. Reading to grow. Find writers who challenge your laziness. Find books that stretch your thinking. Find words that push you out of your comfort zone. That's how you stop wasting time. That's how you turn your evenings into something that serves your future. You have to protect your mind from junk input. Not just during the day, but especially at night. What you consume before bed sets the tone for your next morning. If you sleep with your mind full of random content, you wake up foggy. But if you go to sleep after feeding your brain something useful, you wake up with more clarity, more direction, more strength. Discipline doesn't just show up in big moments. It shows up in what you choose to read before sleeping. It shows up in what you allow into your thoughts when the day is done. And that choice to read instead of scroll builds something powerful inside you. It tells your mind that you're in charge, that you don't need noise to feel okay, that you're not controlled by digital habits. You're focused on building yourself, even at the end of the day. Think about it like this. Every night, you're either investing in your mind or wasting it. You're either preparing yourself to grow or distracting yourself from what matters. Don't waste your nights numbing your brain. Use them to shape your perspective. to strengthen your thinking, to prepare yourself for the life you say you want. And no, it's not always easy. Sometimes you're tired, sometimes you want to unplug completely. But there's a difference between rest and avoidance. Reading something useful doesn't exhaust you, it sharpens you, it slows you down in the right way. It puts your mind into a state of quiet strength. And that's what you need more of. Not more entertainment, more alignment. If you want a better morning, build a better evening. Make reading part of how you close your day. Make it a ritual, not something you do when you feel like it, but something you do because it matters. Let it become one of your non-negotiables, like brushing your teeth, like locking your doors, like preparing for tomorrow. Make it a daily win. And don't wait until you feel ready to change this habit. You change it by starting, one night at a time, one page at a time, one choice at a time. Eventually it becomes your new rhythm, and your mind starts working differently. You think deeper, you focus longer, you grow faster, all because you made a small choice that led to a better direction. Reading builds self-trust. You told yourself you'd improve, and you're backing it up with action. You're not just saying you want change, you're proving it. And when you build that kind of self-respect, you stop looking for external motivation, because you trust yourself to do the right thing, even when it's not easy. So tonight, when the urge comes to pick up your phone and start scrolling, pause. Ask yourself one simple question. Will this help me become who I'm trying to be? If the answer is no, reach for something better, something solid, something useful. You don't have to read forever, just long enough to change your mindset, just long enough to take a step forward. Your future is shaped by what you feed your mind. One evening at a time, one book at a time, one quiet, focused decision at a time. Read something useful. Grow while others scroll. Build what others delay. The life you want is waiting, and the page is already open. Chapter 10. Remind yourself daily that nobody owes you anything. One of the most important lessons you can learn in life is that nobody owes you anything. Not your parents, not your friends, not the world, not the system. The moment you truly accept that, everything changes. You stop waiting, you stop complaining, you stop blaming, and you begin to take full responsibility for your own path. This mindset is not about becoming cold or distant. It's about waking up. It's about taking charge of your time, your energy, and your progress, without expecting someone else to carry the weight for you. A lot of people stay stuck because they believe they're owed something. They believe they're owed success because they worked hard. They believe they're owed attention because they tried. They believe someone should come fix their life because they're tired. But the truth is, life doesn't operate on fairness. Life responds to effort, consistency, humility, and focus, not entitlement. When you walk around expecting things to be handed to you, you'll live in frustration. But when you train yourself to earn everything, you move forward with clarity. You have to remind yourself every day that no one is coming to rescue you. Nobody is going to knock on your door and hand you the life you want. If it's going to happen, it has to start with you. Not with conditions, not with favors, but with your own decision to build it. That kind of thinking is hard at first, but freeing over time, because now you're not waiting. You're acting. You're not relying on chance. You're trusting your discipline. You stop saying, "Why won't they help me?" and start asking, "What can I do right now with what I've got?" No one owes you understanding. No one owes you support. No one is required to believe in your ideas. That part is on you. If people don't clap for you, you keep going. If they don't validate you, you still show up. If they don't recognize your progress, you keep building. That's what separates strong minds from soft ones. Strong minds don't need approval to take action. They act because the mission matters. You don't deserve success just because you want it. Wanting is not enough. Hoping is not enough. Life gives rewards to those who show up every single day, regardless of how they feel, regardless of who's watching. And if you can live like that, if you can accept that every inch of progress will be earned, not gifted, you build real strength. You build quiet confidence, because now you know, whatever comes to you, you earned it. And whatever doesn't, you're still willing to work. You have to stop keeping score. Life isn't keeping tabs on how many good things you've done. It's not a trade. It's not keeping a list of what it owes you in return. Some people think, I've been good, I've suffered, I've done the right things, so now I deserve a reward. But that mindset sets you up for disappointment. Life isn't a machine you feed kindness into and get success out of. It doesn't work that way. You do the right things because they build you. You do the work because it shapes your character. You keep showing up because the process makes you stronger, not because someone promised a payout. Once you stop expecting anything, you start appreciating everything. You stop feeling bitter, and you start feeling grateful. You stop waiting for life to be easy, and you start learning how to be tough. That shift alone can change the direction of your future, because now you're not weighed down by what you think you're owed. You're fueled by what you're working to become. Nobody owes you a second chance. If you get one, be grateful, but don't expect it. Nobody owes you a job, a promotion, a break, or an explanation. You have to be ready to face the truth. This life is yours to lead. You can either own that fully, or keep playing the waiting game. But one leads to growth, and the other keeps you stuck. Every single day, remind yourself that it's on you. That's how you stay sharp. That's how you stay grounded. That's how you build self-respect. You stop pointing fingers. You stop searching for shortcuts. You stop thinking someone out there owes you time, energy, or success. That clarity makes you more effective, more focused, more responsible for your progress. Even your past doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't matter what you've been through, how much you've lost, or how unfair things were. Those experiences shaped you, yes, but they don't entitle you to comfort now. Your growth still has to be earned. Your recovery still has to be built. Don't live in the shadow of what should have happened. Live in the light of what you can still create. No one is responsible for motivating you. That part is on you. If you wait for someone to inspire you every morning, you're setting yourself up to fail. Inspiration fades. What lasts is your ability to show up, even when you don't feel like it. What lasts is your decision to work even when nobody notices. That's the mindset that gets things done. When you stop expecting things from others, your energy gets focused. You stop trying to get people to care. You stop trying to prove yourself to everyone. You start building, quietly, clearly, with direction. That's when your self-worth grows, because you're not looking for it in other people anymore. You've claimed it by how you live. You'll find more peace when you stop believing the world owes you fairness. Bad things happen. Unfair things happen. Some people get ahead with less effort. Some people fall behind despite trying their best. But none of that changes the fact that your life is yours to lead. You can choose to get stronger through it, or stay bitter about it. One path builds power, the other drains it. And here's the truth. Once you fully accept that nobody owes you anything, you become unstoppable. Because now every step you take, you know it's yours. Every inch of growth, every breakthrough, every success, all earned, all built. And that gives you a kind of confidence no one can take away. You're not here to wait. You're here to work. You're not here to hope someone will fix your problems. You're here to solve them. You're not here to chase approval. You're here to become someone you're proud of. That's your job, and the sooner you own it, the better your life gets. So every morning, remind yourself, nobody owes me anything.